Today we will witness the amazing story of Veer Tejaji Maharaj, a true legend known for his truth, promise, and ultimate sacrifice. In Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh, Tejaji Maharaj is worshipped as a Lok Devta, a revered folk deity. It is believed that he was an incarnation of Lord Shiva. And through the epic Veda channel, we are here to share this sacred story with you. This tale belongs to the 11th century. In the Nagar region of Rajasthan, there was a village named Karanal. There lived a noble and respected chief named Tejaji Dev, leader of 24 villages. People honored him with the title, the Guardian of 24 Villages. However, his first wife, Ramkunwari, carried deep sorrow in her heart, for she was unable to have a child. To escape her sorrow, Ramkunwari returned to her parents' home. There, under the guidance of Guru Mangaldas, she worshipped the serpent deity with deep devotion for 12 full years. Moved by her faith and dedication, the serpent deity appeared and blessed her. Greater than Ramkunwari, you will be blessed with a divine son. He will stand for truth and righteousness, protect those in need, and his name will be remembered for generations. After receiving this blessing, Ramkunwari returned to her husband's home. Time passed. On January 29th, 1074 CE, in the village of Karanal, a radiant child was born. The household felt filled with light. The child's face shone so brightly that everyone stood in silent wonder. Tejaji Dev whispered in awe, "This child carries pure brilliance. He is Teja." And from that moment, he was named Teja. Meanwhile, in the village of Paner in Ajmer, a baby girl was born into the family of village chief Raimal. Her name was Pemal. Because Teja's uncle Askaran and Raimal were close friends, the marriage of Teja and Pemal was arranged in the same year, 1074 CE. At that time, Teja was only 9 months old, and Pemal was just 6 months. But the story takes a dramatic turn. Pemal's uncle, Kaju Kala, arrived late for the wedding, and when he discovered the marriage had already taken place, he was enraged. He shouted, "Tejaji Dev, our families have been enemies for generations. How dare you allow this marriage?" In a furious rage, he drew his sword. The conflict escalated quickly, and Tejaji Dev was forced to take up arms as well. In the fight that followed, Kaju Kala was killed. Pemal's mother, Bodle, was devastated and consumed by anger. She swore an oath, "Greater than this blood will be avenged with blood." Thus, a union that began in innocence and love was now overshadowed by a legacy of vengeance. Years passed. 3 years after Teja's birth, his mother, Ramkunwari, gave birth to a daughter, Rajal. Rajal loved her brother Teja dearly. From childhood, Teja was different, extraordinary. One day, when Teja was about 5 years old, he was seen playing in the courtyard with a poisonous snake. People cried out in shock, "Look! The child Teja is playing with a serpent, and the serpent isn't harming him. This is unbelievable." His mother ran in fear. "Teja, come here, my son." But Teja simply smiled. "Mother, this serpent is my friend. It will not harm me." From that day, the village believed, Teja is blessed by the serpent deity. As Teja grew into his youth, his father, Tejaji Dev, gifted him a noble mare, Leelan. Soon, everyone began to say, Teja and Leelan are inseparable, like one soul. But fate had other plans. In 1082 CE, Tejaji Dev went to inspect the crops in the fields. There, hidden in the shadows, waited the bandits Kalia and Balia, burning with vengeance on behalf of Kaju Kala. They attacked suddenly. Tejaji Dev drew his sword and fought bravely, but the attackers were many, and he fell in battle. When his brother Askaran heard the news, he charged after the bandits, but he too was killed in the fight. Hearing this, Ramkunwari wept. "In one day, 2 lights of our home have been taken away, but remember, evil never wins forever." These words ignited a fire inside young Teja, greater than, "From this moment on, my life will follow truth, and every vow I take will be fulfilled." Soon after, Teja went to the Gurukul to complete his training. There he learned swordsmanship, archery, spear, combat, horsemanship, the teachings of the Vedas and the ethics of leadership and discipline. When he returned home, Teja was not only a warrior, he had also become a true farmer. He worked in the fields with his own hands. Leland, his faithful mare, was always beside him. Teja taught the villagers new ways of farming, how to sow seeds wisely, protect crops from disease, and respect the earth. He shared a simple teaching. Animals, the land, and people all belong to one family. Compassion for all living beings. That was the true essence of Tejaji. The afternoon sun was high. Teja was working in the fields. After some time, his sister-in-law arrived carrying food. Teja smiled and said, "Sister-in-law, today you came so late. I was starving." She laughed and replied, "Well, your wife is still in Paner. Bring her home, then you'll get your meals on time." Her words struck deep, like an arrow to the heart. That evening, Teja went to his mother. "Mother, am I really married?" Ramkunwari softly replied, "Yes, my son. You were married to Pemal of Paner village, but circumstances never allowed her to come here." Teja took a deep breath. "Then now, I will bring my wife home with dignity." The next morning, he rode out on Leland, determination in his eyes, honor in his heart, traveling from Karanal to Paner. When Teja reached Paner, Pemal's face lit up with joy. But her mother still carried the old flame of hatred. In a sharp tone, she said, "Why have you come here now?" Teja calmly replied, "I am not here for arguments. I have come to take my wife home with respect," but all he received was insult. Teja bowed and turned away, because for him, greater than respect came before rights. When Pemal heard what happened, she rushed out with her friend Lacha by her side. Lacha said, "Virji, do not return today. Stay at my place," the Rangbari house. Teja agreed, and that night he stayed in Lacha Gujri's home. But as darkness deepened, the bandits Kalia and Balia stole Lacha's cattle. The next morning she cried, "Virji, all my cows have been taken." Without hesitation, Teja said, "Do not cry, Lacha. I give you my word. I will bring back every single cow." Pemal looked at him with worry, but also with unwavering faith, because she knew Teja was not just a warrior. He was a man of his word. Teja rode forward on Leland, following the trail of the thieves. Leland seemed to understand her master's resolve. She ran faster, swift as the wind. Along the way, Teja came upon a serpent caught in fire, burning alive. Teja's heart filled with compassion. Without hesitation, he pulled the serpent from the flames and saved its life. The serpent was no ordinary creature. It was the serpent deity who spoke in a pained voice. "You have interfered with my liberation. If I had died in that fire, I would have attained release." "You have committed a wrongdoing," Teja replied with sincerity. "Greater than I only saved you. But if you feel I have made a mistake, I accept any punishment you choose." The serpent deity said, "Then I must bite you." Teja stood firm. "Greater than you may do so, but not now. I have given my word to return Laka's cattle. Let me fulfill that promise first. After that, I will come back to you myself." The serpent deity was moved by Teja's honesty and unwavering honor. "Greater than, very well," he said. "I will wait for your return, but you must come back." Teja replied, "Do not doubt my word. I will return, without fail." The serpent slipped back into its burrow and Teja rode onward. Soon, deep in the forest, he found the thieves' camp. The cattle were tied inside the enclosure, guards standing watch. Teja recognized them instantly. They were Kalia and Balia, the ones who had killed his father, Tahad Dev. This was no longer just about cattle. This was justice. Teja called out, "Kalia! Balia! Release the cattle and surrender." The bandits laughed. "One man has come to fight us?" Teja's voice thundered, "I am Teja, son of Tahadev. Today I will avenge my father and protect these innocent beings." The battle erupted. Spears flashed like lightning. Leland moved like a storm. Teja fought alone against many. Some bandits fell, some fled, and the first group of cattle was freed. But Kalia escaped, taking a calf with him. He ran to Balia, and together they set a trap in the ravine. When Teja came searching for the calf, he was surrounded on both sides. A fierce battle followed, steel clashing, sparks flying, until both Kalia and Balia fell by Teja's hand. Wounded, exhausted, but unbroken, Teja gathered all the cattle and returned to Laka's home that night. Tears filled Lacha's eyes. "Virji, you truly brought them back." Teja smiled gently. "I gave you my word, sister. You need not worry anymore." But his body was covered in deep wounds. Still, he spoke with steady resolve. "Now, I must fulfill my other promise." Teja mounted Leland once again, his body wounded but his spirit unshaken. He rode toward the serpent deity's burrow. When he arrived, the serpent deity appeared. "Greater than you returned?" "I thought you would run away," Teja replied. "Greater than I gave my word. Breaking a promise is not in my nature." The serpent deity looked at his injuries and said, "Your body is covered in wounds. Where should I bite you?" Teja answered calmly, "My tongue is unharmed. Bite there." The serpent deity bit Teja on the tongue. Moved by Teja's truth and honor, he blessed him. "Greater than, from this day forward, anyone who ties a sacred thread in your name will be cured of snake venom." Teja placed his hand gently on Leland's head. "Leland, go back to Karanal. Tell my mother and Rajal everything." Tears fell from Leland's eyes as she turned and began her journey home. Nearby, a shepherd named Asu had witnessed it all. In his final moments, Teja said, "Take this ornament to Pemal. Tell her the truth." Asu went to Paner and told everyone what had happened. Hearing this, Pemal ran toward the forest of Sursura, her heart shattered. She found Teja in his final breaths and placed his head in her lap. She whispered, "I will go with you." Teja spoke softly. "Pemal, you are the truest wife. May the divine bless your soul." And on August 28th, 1103 CE, Teja took his final breath. Pemal sat beside him on the funeral pyre, holding his head in her lap. Before offering herself to the flames, she spoke. "Paner did not protect my marriage. This town will fall to ruin. Those who failed in loyalty will find no prosperity here." She prayed to the sun, "O sun god, I join the sacred fire with my husband. Grant us liberation." And the fire rose on its own, and Pemal became Sati with Teja. People cried out, "Glory to Sati Mata! Glory to Veer Tejaji Maharaj!" When Leland reached Karanal alone, Ramkunwari understood, "My son has left this world." The entire village fell into grief. Rajal, Teja's sister, said, "I will not remain behind. Where my brother has gone, I will go." She walked to the pond and offered her life in devotion, and in the sorrow of her master and Rajal's departure, Leland also gave up her life. Time passed, but their story lived on. A story of honor, promise, and the protection of the innocent. Today, the Tejaji Mukti Dham Temple in Sursura is a sacred pilgrimage. In Karanal, memorials stand for Rajal and Leland. Even now, it is believed that those suffering from snakebite are healed at Tejaji's temples. Every year on Teja Dashami, thousands gather to honor him, not just as a warrior, but as a symbol of truth, promise, and dharma. Stories may differ slightly from place to place, but we have shared the most accepted and respected tradition here, with clarity and devotion. I am Narinder Singh from Epic Veda, bringing you timeless stories of faith, devotion, and our sacred heritage. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing and stay connected to our eternal traditions.